I just sent an offer out on this property. This property I just sent an offer on. And in this video, I'm gonna teach you how to write an offer contract. Well, I'm gonna teach you, but so is my dog, Soup. Right, Soup? He's asleep. This is boring stuff, but you got to know it if you want to send cash offers. I've made another video and I'll put the link up somewhere right here where I did a seller financing contract. It's very similar, but there's a couple little nuances. So today I'm going to show you how to write a cash contract. You're buying a property, cash money. Wait, where's my cash? Here it is. I almost lost my fake $10,000. I wrote a $200,000 cash offer on this property, and I'm gonna show you how I did it. So you can do the same thing. And once you do this once, you'll be able to do it a million times. So let me quickly show you. Now, there's a lot of different purchase and sale contracts you can use, and it depends on your state. There are some that you can use in all states, but they may not be as bulletproof, or you have some state-specific contracts. For example, the legend Jerry Norton himself, he gives you free contracts if you go to his site. So he offers these free contracts. Now, are these going to be bulletproof, perfect contracts? Probably not. You probably want to get these reviewed by an attorney. Could you get away with it? You know, I'm not going to give you legal advice, but yeah, they're not bad. So do you have resources to get contracts? Find someone on Facebook or use someone like Jerry Norton's agreements and maybe tweak them to your state. Try to get an attorney, guys. Always try to get an attorney. Or what you can use is what I use. I use Trek. These are the contracts that the Texas Real Estate Commission uses. Realtors here in Texas. These are the best contracts here in Texas. This does not work in Georgia. This does not work in California. This is Texas specific. Again, you can use a free contract like Jerry Norton's, or if you can, use Trek if you're doing deals in Dallas. But anyways, all the contracts are pretty much the same. The information is pretty much the same. So in this video, I want to quickly walk you through what type of information you're putting on a cash wholesale deal. Okay, you ready? Here we go. So first, you got to say who the seller is. You're going to put the seller's information here. Then you got to put you, the buyer. Say your name or your LLC, and it helps sometimes to write and or assign. So you don't have to do that, but you can. You don't have to. Some people think you have to. You don't have to. So you put the seller's information. You put you, the buyer's information. This is the exact contract I used when I offered on this house. When I wrote the offer to the realtor on this house, I wrote it in that contract. So I'm going to show you. Here you want to write the legal description of the house. Yeah, so the address of the property is actually not the legal address of the property. So the address of this property is 401 Wayne Street, Dallas, Texas, but that's not the legal description. The legal description actually has something called a lot number and a block number. You can pull this information online on the county tax website. Do you have to do that? No, but it just makes your contracts look that much more professional. Now, the rest of the information is just going to be a lot of legalese, legal information on all your contracts. There's going to be a lot of legal information, but really the meat of the bones here, guys, is what's your cash offer? So let me zoom in for you guys. Here we're going to say what our cash price is. $200,000 cash. It's going to give you other options like third-party financing addendum, seller financing addendum, all those things. We're just going to put the cash price in there. We're saying, hey, this is how much we're paying cash. This is our offer amount. There's a lot more information in these contracts. There's things about leases. There's things about everything you can imagine. These are serious contracts. You're buying real estate here, but we're just wholesaling. We're getting cash deals. So I want to cover the most important things. Next, you're going to talk about your earnest money and who your title and escrow company is. For any cash deals here in Dallas, we're using Grice Law and Patent Title. I recommend you use them if you're going to be doing deals with me or if you're just doing deals in Dallas. They've been great. But make sure to find an investor-friendly title company that's okay with you wholesaling, that knows what wholesaling is. You'd be surprised. A lot of these title and escrow companies don't even know what wholesaling is. What is a title and escrow company? Your state may have closing attorneys. What am I even talking about? Guys, pretty much when you're wholesaling a property, when you're finding a deal, you're putting it under contract. You negotiate a great deal. You're sending out contracts and you're going to assign those contracts. You're going to sell those contracts to somebody else and get paid. You need to put this property under contract, and it needs to be with a title and escrow company. Title and escrow companies are one thing, and the title side of the company, they're just making sure that the property is actually owned by who they say it is. There's no problems with the title. They have a clear title, all that stuff. It's just important stuff to make sure that you can actually sell a home and there's no problems. But the escrow part's the part that concerns you more. You are going to put something called earnest money down on a contract. It's good faith money. So here, I usually put 1% on cash deals. So we offered 200,000, then I put 2,000. Sometimes I put 0.5%. So maybe I put 1,000. Sometimes I just put a few bucks. If it's off market, I usually put a lot less. If it's on market, you probably want to put 0.5% to 1%. A lot of times in off market deals, guys, I put 10 bucks, 100 bucks. But what is earnest money? It's money that you're putting in to a contract that says, hey, I'm serious about this contract. Here is some money. Put this in escrow. Escrow is a neutral third party where the money is held. And you now, by putting earnest money in, have a few days to see if you want to buy this house. If you want to buy the house, great. Then that money goes towards the purchase price. That $2,000 goes toward the purchase price. I only owe $198,000 at closing. But if I don't want to buy this house during that period, I can take that money back. It's just, hey, yeah, here's some money. I'm interested in buying your house. If I don't like it, I'm going to take that money back. But there's a big but, guys. You have to choose a option period, a due diligence period, an inspection period. This is the time in which your money can be returned to you. So here I put 7 days. Oftentimes with cash deals, the least you should put is 3 days. Try to get as many days as possible. So 3 to maybe 21 days. Are you going to get 21? Are you going to get 14? Are you going to get 10? Maybe not, but try to at least get 3, shoot for 5, 7, 10, something like that, because the more days you have, the more time you have to wholesale your property. During this time, this is your wholesaling period. After day 7, you're not wholesaling this property anymore because now you're losing your $2,000. On day 7, you better cancel escrow or sell that deal or else you'll lose your $2,000. Does that make sense? You're putting money, you're giving them money and saying, hey, this is some good faith money. This is $10. This is $100. This is $5,000. Give me a period of time to wholesale your home. Now, they may think you're buying it. You should always disclose that you're trying to wholesale a house. At least I do. But, whatever they think, that's the time that they know, okay, maybe this deal won't go through. But after that period, they're pretty sure that this deal is going to sell. And you should be too. So does that make sense? Now, in Texas, we do have something called a option money or option fee. Your state may not have that. This is money that's non-refundable. So always put a small amount. I put $50 here. I'm okay losing $50 on this deal. This is money that even if you back out during those 3, 5, 7, 10 days, you still lose this money. So a lot of times I just put $1 here or you put 0. Option money is dumb. Your state may not have it. I hate it. So these are really important things, guys. The cash price is obviously super important. The address, the legal address, the seller, the buyer, but really the meat of the bones here is putting a good title and escrow company that's investor friendly, and then putting the right amount of earnest money, and then putting, guys, this is the most important, is your inspection period, your due diligence period, your option period needs to be as long as possible. Again, don't do under 3, try to shoot for 5 to 7. If you can get 10, beautiful. If you can get more, wonderful. The longer you have, the more time that we can shop a good buyer and make more money. Now, there's a lot of other just legalese in these contracts, but that's really the meat, bones, potatoes, whatever the heck they call it. Like, that's the most important stuff. And all your contracts are going to have that information. If they don't, dude, go running, don't use that contract. But all of them should have that base information. That's the most important information. There's other things about furnishing, surveys. There's other things about this and that. But what we just talked about, is the most important information. I want to stress that. We're going to ask you if the property's in an HOA. Like, this is all common stuff you're going to see in contracts. You just have to answer all the stuff. It's really simple. Another thing that's super important in contracts, guys, is the closing date. How long is this closing going to happen? If it's a creative deal, this may take 30 days. So put 30 days in there. Your regular real estate deals are usually 30 days or longer. Commercial deals can be 2-3 months. But for a cash deal, a simple cash deal, 14 days, guys. Try to get 14 days. I think that's a fair closing. Can we do 7? Yeah, we've done 7, but I want to see 14 in there. So at least give us 14-day closing, or give yourself 14-day closing, and give your option period to 5 to 7 days. Those are my big tips for you. Now, the last part of these contracts that I really like is something called special provisions. This is an area where you can just write whatever you want. A lot of contracts, you'll see that. Here, I like to write, this phrase. I always say that this contract is assignable. So I'm pretty much saying, hey, there's a chance I may wholesale this contract. Always put that in your contracts. Do you legally have to have it? No, but this will protect you so much by saying that it's assignable. Right now, you just said, hey, I may wholesale this deal, and now the seller, they can't get mad at you. The realtor can't get mad at you because it's in the contract. So, right, this contract is assignable. Or buyer has an assignable contract. Write assignable in your contract in the special provisions. Also, we write this phrase. If you want to use it, great. We say, buyer is an investor and reserves the right to resell the property at any time and for any price at its sole discretion. We put that in there because we don't want to give, one, the seller the wrong idea. We're an investor. We may be wholesaling this contract. Maybe we'll buy it ourselves. We have a fund. We buy properties. We actually just bought a property today for our fund, but we may flip it. We may do this. We may do that. I don't want these sellers pissed off at us. So I leave that information in the contract. I'm not an attorney. Guys, go seek legal advice. I'm just telling you what I do as a realtor, as an investor, and as a wholesaler. A lot more legalese in your contract. Should you be reading all this? Absolutely. Read all of it. Understand all of it. Have I read it before? Yeah, I promise you I have. I think. No, absolutely read this stuff because there is important stuff that you got to add. I'm just trying to cover these contracts quickly. But once you get comfortable with these contracts, filling out a contract takes 10 minutes. At the first time you do it, it's going to take you a couple hours. You're going to be nervous. You're like, did I do it right? Did I put all the information in there? Don't worry, it took me a couple hours the first few times I've done it. Now it's 10 minutes. And then, guys, you got to sign it and they got to countersign it. And then you have a legal binding contract. Very important in at least the TREC contracts or, in your contracts, you want to make sure about the agent commissions. Here it says like, hey, are we paying an agent commission? Who's paying the agent commissions? So make sure you don't miss that. So if it's, if you're probably going to want to put 0% here, but I'm an agent, so I always want to put my 3% in here. I want someone to pay me. So just know that. So let's just quickly summarize what we learned and what's going to be on your contract. And if you don't believe me, let's pull up Jerry Norden's contract right now. Here's Jerry Norden's contract, his free contract. There you go. We talked about the buyers and the sellers. We talked about that. And the address. Now, I like to put the legal address so there's no confusion. But hey, just address is good enough. And then here he's actually saying legal address, so that's good. Purchase price, we got to say what the purchase price is. Earnest money, we just talked about that. How much earnest money are you putting down? 0.5%, 1% if it's on market. If it's off market, you can get away with a lot less if you have a good relationship with the seller. Talks about your earnest money. It talks about all that. Talks about the agents, right? This is like close of escrow. How long do we need, guys? 14 days at least on a cash deal. That's what we should shoot for, is 14 days. We can do quicker if we have to, but shoot for 14 days. Oh, hey guys, another super important thing. Who's going to pay the closing costs? Who's going to pay the agents? Who's going to pay all this? You don't even know what I'm talking about? Just say y'all are splitting it. Go and ask your buyer. This is up for discretion. Oftentimes the buyer and a seller will split this stuff. The seller will usually pay the agent commissions. The buyer will sometimes say, you know what, I'll pay the closing costs. I've seen it switch. I've seen the buyer pay everything. I've seen the seller pay everything. It depends. So I don't have a clear answer for you there. It really depends. When you're wholesaling contract, what I recommend to you is to just say buyer and seller are splitting closing commissions and seller is paying agent commissions. That's what I recommend to you if you're wholesaling. It may change in your deal, but that's what I recommend to you. So guys, that's really it on Jerry Norden's contract. See how that was exact same as TREC? It's just a little simpler. So that's it, guys. That's how you fill out a contract. Really, really simple. If you need help, again, I'm here to help you. I hope this video was helpful. Subscribe, like it, share it with somebody, and hey, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.